This is Frances DiLorinzo with another episode of Behind the Punchlines, starring, you guessed it, Frances DiLorinzo. Take it away. Go. All right, I'm ready. So the first question was, what inspired me to become a stand-up comedian? And without any preparing is the word I'm looking for this interview, I would say that what inspired me was that I didn't want to sit behind a desk doing a job from 8 to 5. So then I thought, like, what else could I do? I could be a call girl, but oh my God, who wants to put out all the time? And then I thought, okay, what I can do is I can do stand-up comedy. And so it was very, very, it was very deep thought into what brought me here. One of my most memorable moments on the stage was when I performed with Warren Buffett in the crowd. He found me on the internet. It was not my porn, but that stuff is funny. And actually, I got hired for an event. I had no idea he was a fan of mine. They hired me. I went out to Omaha, and performing on stage and seeing him laugh. Oh, it was one of the most surreal experiences of my life. It was really, really cool. Because, I always thought, like, oh, he could see me on the internet and think I'm great, then in life I'm going to suck, and that'll be really depressing. But no, he loved it, and I loved it. Everyone always asks me who were my comedic influences growing up, and I liked so many people for so many different reasons. I liked Jim Carrey because he did physical comedy. I liked David Letterman because he was sarcastic. I liked, Joan Rivers because she was female. So I never had like one person that I was just like, oh my gosh, I just totally idolized them. There were so many different elements of comedy that I really, really was curious about and that I adored and respected. And the good news is I incorporated all that stuff into my own style. I'm physical, I'm female, and I'm really, really sarcastic. What is my favorite joke that I've ever written? There's so many. I can't pick one. I've written such great jokes that I can't pick my favorite joke. Actually, no, I can. This is a recent one that I just wrote, and it's kind of nasty. So if you have to push the button on pause, here it goes. So I was recently talking about how, as a woman, your sex drive changes over the years. And one of my favorite jokes is, I noticed the hormonal change when I faked an orgasm and no one was there to witness it. So weird. That was really a weird moment. Okay, so have I ever had a nightmare performance? I thought you were asking if I've ever had nightmares about performing, which the answer is yes. First, I've had nightmares where I'm on stage and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't wear any lipstick, and I'm like trying to put my lipstick on, but the audience is there and I can't find my lips, and it's just nuts. Now, the other aspect of that question is, have I ever had nightmare performances? Like, did I suck? And the answer is always yes. No comedian ever gets through a career without saying no. But fortunately, the bad, horrible experiences just got smaller and smaller and further in between. So I don't have one that like haunts me, but yeah, we all suck sometimes. What's the best piece of advice that I've ever received in my career was just to persevere. And in all honesty, stand-up comedy is just, it's a love-hate thing. And there's days where you're just like, oh my God, I'm dealing with my own personal stuff inside my soul, and I have to go make other people laugh. And you push through it, and it turns out to be like the best thing in the world. And it really is a testament to the fact that laughter is the best medicine, absolutely, hands down. It diffuses your fear, diffuses your pain. When I was going through cancer, it saved me. I went through a divorce, it saved me. So the best advice that was given to me was Jan Smith, who used to own Igby's. He said, you need to stay in this and keep going. Meaning, I was brand new, and he's like, yeah, you need to keep doing this. So that made me feel like, I'm in the right place. Gosh, who's the funniest person I've ever met? That's another question where I don't have one answer. But actually, getting back to Warren Buffett, he's like one of the funniest non-comedians guys. That's why we had so much fun. We just laughed. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. And I love, like, certain comedians make me laugh. Greg Hahn is wacky dacky. He always makes me laugh. My good friends who are just very spontaneous, and I love that. Oh my gosh, so one of the strangest things that ever happened to me when I was performing was not too long ago. I'm working on a cruise ship in a packed theater, and in the front row there's like these two girls that are like 7 years old, and they're doing cartwheels and flip-flops and cartwheels and flip-flops, and I'm trying to do my whole show and I'm trying to focus, and I couldn't because there's this going on over there. So finally I looked at the two people behind them and I said, "Are these your kids?" And they're like, "No, they're not ours." And I was like, oh my gosh, did somebody just drop these kids off in the theater for like thinking it was daycare? And so anyways, then moments later, one of the little girls was sitting on the guy's lap, and I was like, "I thought they weren't your kids. Are you a pedophile?" It was really, really kind of weird. Oh gosh, if I could collaborate. You have such good questions. These are like, you ask such questions that make me think I should have really analyzed my career better. I just go with the flow. Who could I collaborate with? Gosh, I like collaboration as a whole. I think so. A lot of the comics that work here at Comedy Magic Club, I mean, that's the whole reason I love coming to this club, is just in the green room, sitting with comedic minds. It's so fun, and that in and of itself stirs the creative mind. So if I could collaborate, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now, but there's just tons of people that are super funny. Again, I think Greg Hahn is hilarious. I love working with him because he's so physical and silly and funny. And, several other good friends of mine, but no women because I'm very competitive. Kidding. I love women now. In our 20s, we were very competitive. Now we're like, women come together. It's the best thing ever. I know what I wish audiences knew about comedians. We don't need your help. We don't need your help. Audiences, you know what I mean? When there's someone in the crowd. I was just on a ship, and this was just last week. And this woman in the audience decided, it was late night, so she decided every time, their little circle of friends, every time I said sex, they were gonna go, woohoo! So like for 6 times, I was like something about sex, oh, woohoo! And then I was like, and I thought, oh my God, if you do that for 45 minutes, I'm gonna have to jump off and like strangle you, because that is not helpful. You're not there to be the comedian. So we want you to know that if we're talking to you, we love the interaction. We love to be spontaneous, but we don't need you to take over and compete with the show because we were hired to be there, right?
What's the strangest place you ever performed comedy?
In a strip club. And I'm not kidding. Isn't that hilarious? I am not kidding. The Laugh Stop in Newport Beach was sold, and it turned into a strip club, but they didn't change the name. So for a while they turned it into a strip club, but they would still do stand-up comedy on like Saturday night. So I would get on stage, and there's a gold pole, and we're doing jokes, and I would always start my show by saying, "Gosh, I feel really overdressed for tonight." And I don't mean like my designer clothing, I just mean too much fabric. See how he ties it together with those strippers. How long have I been performing here? I think like 20 years here at the Comedy Magic Club. Maybe even, more than that actually, because I think my brick says 1999, so I don't know how to do math. But I got to tell you, when I
How did you start it here?
How did I get started here at the Comedy Magic Club? I always wanted to work here, and Mike Lacey back in the day had very, very strict rules about being super clean, and he just wanted top-notch comics. So I walked in, and he's like, "I've heard of you, get out of my club." I'm just kidding, Mike would never do that. But it's like I think I showed up, I think I'd called him, but he never gave me a showcase, an audition spot. Anyways, the coolest thing was, like, finally one day I came in, and I was confident, I was ready, and I did my set. Mike came up to me after the show, and he goes, "You were ready," and he goes, "This meant a lot to me." He said, "I knew the minute you walked in the door that you were going to kill it." He goes, "I could just feel it the way you walked in the door." And from that moment forward, I've been a part of what I call a family, and this club, of any other clubs across the country, is definitely a family. It's a really special place. So here's my advice to aspiring comedians. The most important thing is to figure out how to be authentic. When an audiences smell superficial performance. They know when you're trying to be funny. If you can just kind of settle into who you are and just be real and finally get to a point where you can be conversational as well, those are the best kind of comics in my mind, because that's what comedy is. It's a conversation between you and your audience as if they are friends of yours. So if you can kind of zero in on that, I think that's what makes it really awesome.
That's it.
Ta-da! Ready? Okay. And dismount!